and the stage is yours.
Okay, thank you. Right. Hello, everyone. Today I'd like to present a company called Nostics, whose mission is to close the gap between the manifestation and treatment of deep vein thrombosis. Together with its main complication, pulmonary embolism, this disease kills up to nearly 1 million patients worldwide per year and is also reported as 10 million worldwide cases annually. However, for some reason, these diseases are not screened before symptoms arise for the patient. This is due to the fact because the screening is very complicated and expensive and requires an operator. Therefore, the opportunity lies in detecting the diseases as quickly, as cheaply, and as easily as possible. For this solution, as a solution, I propose a device which is used on the patient's legs either while they are sleeping before hospital discharge or as an independent test that may take up to an hour. As far as the market goes, the ideal market for this kind of product would be hospitals that are experiencing a high cases of these sorts of patients who are at high risk of developing deep vein thrombosis and have high costs of the operating radiology unit. The annual prevalence of the disease is 1 in every 1,500 hospital patients, and as you can see from the numbers, they are quite high in the spending category as well. Comparing Nostics to the traditional current diagnosis, you can see two main differences: that it would not require an operator, and it can also collect a vascular overnight profile if need be, and which can later be analyzed with software. The business model I would like to do is public procurement, selling to hospitals, and direct selling to private hospitals where possible. And the estimated device price would be around $50,000. As far as financials go, I have made these estimates on the presumption that I could penetrate 5% of the UK's hospital market, which is in total 47 hospitals. The funding I would need currently is $100,000 to build a prototype, reach a milestone, and look for next funding to go to market. The cost structure, as you can see, is outlined below. The impact one device can have, as you can see, is quite high, although it mainly depends on the number of patients it can screen per year and the risk those patients have of developing deep vein thrombosis. As far as the team goes, it's just me because the project is quite in the early stages. I would fit into the project as overseeing it and handling all the medical affairs. Firstly, what I would like to do is get a software developer to discuss the software part of the project, and later on an electrical engineer which could liaise with the manufacturing companies. Thank you very much, and do you have any questions?
We can start early.
Yeah.
If there are any questions.
Okay.
I'll let Carolina go first this round.
Okay, thank you very much, Mary. So my first question, so just to be sure, this is more like idea than ready to anything product,
yeah, well,
right?
No, it's not a prototype, no.
Yeah.
I could prove the concept when I build the prototype.
Okay, so how exactly the technology will work? What will be under it?
Basically, it's based as according to the current technology, which uses ultrasound. It's just the main two differences that this just removes an operator, so it basically uses mechanics to remove the what a normal operator would be doing in the meanwhile during the exam.
What is your go-to-market strategy?
Go-to-market strategy would be partnered to a big medical devices seller to use already existing distribution channels.
What kind of certificates would you need to obtain for this product?
Regulatory-wise, it would not be classed as a new product, so mainly for the US market, we would need to obtain a 510K product license, and before that, obviously, to get scientific data which shows that the product is comparable to the gold standard, which is the current testing method.
And how is the competitive landscape looks like?
Mainly ultrasound manufacturers and producers focus to the universal side, which means that a device is made to measure a lot of different conditions and having different body parts involved as well, while this device mostly focuses on individual conditions. So, for example, now the condition is deep vein thrombosis, and that means that while other competitors are focusing on a universal application, we're focusing on one single use, which can personalize the experience and has a more detailed value proposition, particularly for that idea.
How are you planning to secure this product not to be copied by your competitors?
Mainly the patenting would be through patenting the algorithm, because to convert the ultrasound data from that's received from the transducer to the receiver, you'd need a specific algorithm, which in this case would be different than conventional ultrasound algorithms.
Okay, thank you. I used my 2 minutes, so I will give the voice to Mary.
Okay, great. Thanks. We're so organized.
Yeah.
I was wondering, could you break down the price point for me a little bit more? You have a very specific $50,000 price point. I'm just wondering how you arrived at that number and yeah.
Okay, so basically, it's just an estimate, first of all. Next, the main reason why it's a quite high price point is that ultrasound equipment is quite expensive to manufacture because of the hardware materials, and I also believe that the software will be costly as well. Therefore, I made an estimate of that price. Also, liaised with some ultrasound professionals working in the field that have PhD degrees, and they helped me estimate the number at around 50,000 as well.
And you said that this would be applicable just for one primary use case.
Yes.
Just my assumption would be that this would be steep for a hospital to invest in another ultrasound type device that's specific to this one use case. Do you see it being possible to apply for other diseases as well, or how do you plan to address that?
The initial idea is to tailor the device specifically to deep vein thrombosis. In other cases, I have not looked other uses yet, but if the clinical data is there to support this device, I'm sure it is possible to do some experiments and see whether it could be the same principles could be applied to different areas as well. As far as
the other question, just about if it's possible to do this without. So you use the ultrasound. It's basically a consolidated, a smaller compact ultrasound machine that also can work without an operator, if I understand.
That's correct, yeah.
Okay, so you can't retrofit an existing ultrasound machine. That would be a different kind of like a robotics solution, basically.
No, not really.
Okay, sorry, I guess we're out of time. I would have loved to hear how you decided to work on this idea and learn a little bit more about your story, but maybe in the comments you could leave that.
Sure.
Thank you, and good luck.